Thank you for joining us for another Top 10 countdown on tariff war between the US and Canada. Well, folks, it's happening again. Like a follow-up sequel everyone expected, President Donald Trump is once again threatening to slap Canada with a tariff so massive that even reality TV executives would call it a bit much. If President Trump follows through with a 100% tariff on Canadian goods, we could see the Great White North experience an economic, political, and social transformation unlike anything in recent memory. From skyrocketing grocery bills to diplomatic ice storms colder than a Winnipeg winter, this tariff would be the equivalent of an economic meteor strike. Grab your double-doubles and butter tarts. Let's count down the top 10 ways this tariff could shake Canada to its maple syrup-covered core. Number 10. The Great Canadian Sticker Shock. Remember when your grandparents complained about a loaf of bread costing 10 cents back in their day? Well, they're about to have company. A 100% tariff means Canadian exporters will need to pass those costs on, doubling prices on everything from lumber to cars. Need a new Ford F-150? That'll be an extra $40,000, please. Thinking of upgrading your kitchen with some American-made appliances? Might as well mortgage your igloo. Consumer prices will soar, hitting middle-class families the hardest. Even the ultra-polite Canadians might start rage-quitting their grocery carts mid-aisle. Number 9. The loonie takes a dive, and it's not coming back up. The Canadian dollar has been known to take a dip now and then, but a full-scale economic punch from the US would send the loonie into free fall. Investors hate uncertainty, and a tariff war with the US would mean a mass exodus of investment dollars from Canada. We might even see exchange rates hit 80 cents to the US dollar or lower. Good news for American tourists looking to stretch their bucks in Banff. Bad news for Canadians trying to buy anything internationally. Say goodbye to affordable online shopping from the US and cheap winter getaways to Florida. Hope you like winter, because vacations just got 100% pricier. Number 8. The supply chain quagmire. Canada and the US have one of the most integrated supply chains in the world. Auto parts cross the border multiple times before a car is even completed. A 100% tariff would make this cross-border movement a bureaucratic nightmare, turning car manufacturing into an expensive game of ping pong. Factories would either have to relocate to avoid the tariffs, or companies would have to eat the extra costs and pass them on to the consumer. Either way, say hello to delayed shipments, skyrocketing prices, and empty auto showrooms. Number 7. Political fireworks with extra maple syrup. If there's one thing that can unite Canadians, it's an attack on their economy by an American president. However, the unpopularity of the current Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, may unite Canadians to oust him from office sooner than he anticipated. Expect even the most mild-mannered Canadian politicians to go full-on hockey brawlers and align themselves with conservative values. Ottawa may try to retaliate with countermeasures, possibly imposing its own tariffs on American imports, igniting a full-blown trade war. Canada sells its products in the US 10 times more than the US and Canada. Therefore, the potential Canadian tariff on American goods has lower economic significance. And let's not forget 2025 is a Canadian election year too. This could push the Canadian political scene into overdrive by calling the Parliament to be reopened, with parties scrambling to look the toughest against Trudeau, the least popular among Canadians. Trudeau's socialist open border policy that flooded the US with illegal migrants is the basis of the heavy-handed tariff from the southern neighbor. Buckle up, it's going to get rowdy. Number 6. Unemployment skyrockets. Industries that rely heavily on exports to the US would be in serious trouble. Automakers, lumber producers, agricultural businesses, many of them would face mass layoffs. The ripple effect would extend to local economies, with fewer people spending money, leading to more job losses in retail and services. So if you were hoping to switch jobs soon, you might want to hold on to that office chair a little tighter. Number 5. The maple syrup crisis. You think inflation is bad now? Imagine if American pancake lovers suddenly had to pay double for their favorite liquid gold. U.S. buyers might balk at the price, causing a surplus of syrup in Canada. What do we do with it? Bathe in it? Start making syrup cocktails? Either way, the once thriving maple syrup industry could take a hit, and that's a future too dark to contemplate. Number 4. The return of smuggling season. Canadians have long been experts at cross-border shopping, but this tariff would take things to the next level. Expect the black market to explode. We're talking underground cheese networks, back-alley car deals, and the resurgence of a good old-fashioned smuggling industry. Border guards might suddenly find themselves dealing with hockey moms trying to sneak U.S. laundry detergent across the border in diaper bags. The ingenuity of Canadians when it comes to avoiding over-the-top prices will be a sight to behold. Number 3. An economic slowdown hits home. A 100% tariff isn't just a tax, it's a trade wall. Trade between the U.S. and Canada is worth $1.2 trillion annually, and any disruption of that magnitude would send shockwaves across the entire economy. GDP growth? Expected to stall or even contract. Investment? Frozen like a February morning in Saskatchewan. Business confidence? It'll be lower than the Leafs' playoff hopes in mid-April. Number 2. Canada gets cozy with other trading partners. If President Trump forces Canada's hand, expect a full-court diplomatic press to strengthen trade ties with Europe, Asia, and Mexico. The Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership (CPTPP) and the Canada-EU deal (CETA) will suddenly be much more attractive. China, meanwhile, will be all too happy to increase trade with Canada. Nevertheless, none of those countries can replace the U.S. as a trading partner. You need to consider that Canada sells more products in the U.S. than the U.S. in Canada. This trade imbalance makes Canada more vulnerable to any price hikes than the U.S. However, this could lead to a geopolitical shift in which Canada depends less on the U.S. and diversifies its trade markets. But losing access to the largest market in the world may not be recoverable. President Trump might just push Canada into economic depression or stagnation and force Canadian politicians to bend their policies to secure their borders against illegal aliens and avoid devastating tariffs. Number 1. Canada needs America more than America needs Canada. And finally, the biggest impact? With unpopular socialistic policies, Canada could end up hurting itself unless it revisits those policies and takes corrective actions. American businesses that rely on Canadian raw materials like lumber, aluminum, and auto parts can easily supply their demand from anywhere else. However, Canada may have a difficult time finding a suitable advanced technological partner like the U.S. The point of the 100% tariff is to make Canadian products and services less attractive in the U.S. market due to price hikes, making home builders in the U.S. not use Canadian lumber that doubled in price. Car makers think it's time to insource manufacturing, since Canadian parts are not price competitive anymore, and retail stores will have to charge more for Canadian goods. In the end, this could literally be hurting Canadian consumers and businesses, less so the Americans. And if the Canadian economy starts feeling the pain, well, the Canadian government might have to rethink its open border policies. If President Trump really does impose a 100% tariff on Canadian goods, the effects will be seismic. Prices will spike, businesses will struggle, and political tensions will hit an all-time high. Canadians may be resilient, but certainly they feel the burden for quite some time. They survived President Trump's previous trade antics, the War of 1812, and even the disappointment of multiple Stanley Cup droughts. If history tells us anything, it's that Canada will adapt, but at what cost, yet to be seen. Whether through trade diversification, new domestic policies, or just a whole lot of creative smuggling, Canadians will find a way. And along the way, they may realize that having a common border with their friendly southern superpower neighbor does not mean anyone in the world is invited to cross through it. As for America, well, it might just end up realizing nothing substantial except a short blip on the economic screen and a short price jitter on maple syrup, and that's all about it. So grab some popcorn before it gets hit with a 100% tariff. Sit back and watch the next chapter of the US-Canada trade saga unfold. It's going to be a wild ride. Thank you for joining us for this fascinating exploration of the top 10 ways President Trump's 100% tariff could rock Canada. We look forward to unraveling more insights and mysteries with you in the future. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay informed about our upcoming deep dives into history, science, and the unknown. Share your thoughts in the comments. Who would be the bigger loser in the tariff war between the USA and Canada? Do you think the tariff will oust Trudeau from the government sooner than he expected? If you found the top 10 ways Trump's 100% tariff could rock Canada interesting and thought-provoking, share them with others and join us in uncovering the stories of both the past and the future together.